let there be peace. I am a stand for peace, let there be love. I am a stand for love, let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. We are making a new world now.
All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Unity Spiritual Community. And we shall overcome any technical glitches. We do welcome you, whether you are with us on Zoom or on Facebook live stream. And we also welcome those who are viewing the service later from a recording. It is the day that the Lord has made. So let us share today's daily word. And it is Sunday, May 29th, 2022. And the word for today is comfort. The love in my heart is my comfort. The love in my heart is my comfort. If the sadness of loss diminishes my joy as I think of happy experiences with the loved ones who are no longer with me, I remember that the love we shared will bind us together always. Love can never die. Love, the most beautiful attribute of God, is present always and everywhere. I am comforted as my heart opens to the divine love within me, knowing that this same love enfolds all of those I hold dear, no matter where they are on the eternal journey of life. Peace and strength grow in my awareness as I open myself to love's expression. I bless everyone who comes to mind today with a loving thought. I speak a loving word or perform a simple act of kindness whenever I can. As I bring comfort to others, I am comforted also. And from the 119th Psalm, verse 76, we read, "Let your steadfast love become my comfort, according to your promise to your servant." And the word for today is comfort. And now we're going to invite Lisa to share a congregational song, so I'll need to get the lyrics up. Pray for me.
There we go. This is The Strength of Love, which was written by Marcy Baruch. I am born from the strength of love. I am born from the strength of love. All that I am
Thank you, Lisa. Beautiful song. So today's featurette is on the Hagia Sophia, which is a mosque in Istanbul, Turkey. 2 weeks ago, we had a talk on the Trinity. And one of the theories we discussed was that the Holy Spirit might symbolize the Sophia. The Sophia is the mysterious feminine aspect of God, referred to as wisdom in the Proverbs, and as the Sophia in the book of Ecclesiasticus, which is part of the Apocrypha. So as I was preparing that talk 2 weeks ago, I did some research on the Hagia Sophia, but we didn't have enough time to include it that day. So I decided to create a featurette. And as I was preparing today's featurette, I realized that I want to share many things about Turkey with you. So I decided to have a 3-part featurette. And today we will discuss the Hagia Sophia. We'll discuss the general geography of Turkey and why you should know about it. Then on June 12th, we'll discuss some of the things I learned when I went to Turkey in 2007. I took a tour that was called In the Footsteps of the Apostle Paul. And then on Father's Day, June 19th, we will share the influence of Ataturk. Ataturk was the leader of Turkey in the early 1900s, and he is known as the father of modern Turkey. And so we begin. In many ways, the Hagia Sophia represents the religious and cultural history of Turkey. It was built in 537 and called the Church of Holy Wisdom. That's what those 2 words, Hagia Sophia, it's what they mean, holy wisdom. And it was built in Constantinople, which is what Istanbul used to be called. It was, and may still be, I don't know, the largest church in Eastern Orthodox Christianity. In 1453, Constantinople fell to the Ottomans, and it was converted to a mosque. The minarets were added in the 15th and 16th centuries. Then in 1935, this was under the leadership of Ataturk, the Republic of Turkey. It was a non-sectarian government, turned it into a museum. And then in 2020, it was reconverted back to a mosque and is called now the Hagia Sophia Grand Mosque. It is still open to the public, and people of all faiths are invited to tour. This is the inside. Now, the remodeling of this building with each conversion was quite a challenge. The architects usually took care to preserve ancient art while honoring the symbols of other religious traditions. You can see here the big round plaques like that have the Islamic symbols on them. And many things were plastered over rather than destroyed. And years later, they'd find frescoes behind the plaster. When it was a museum, there were symbols of both the Christian and Islamic faiths shown. You can see here, this is definitely a Christian looking structure, as is the front altar. If we look at the interior with this close up, we can see the aging and know what a challenge it has been for this country, as many countries who are the keepers of our history, of the ancient artifacts, to keep them in good repair. This slide, how beautiful it is, shows the inside at night with the candelabras, and they are suspended from the ceiling by chains. And those chains are very, very long, and they truly are candles. They may be electric by now, but There were candles when I went. And you'll notice up at the top of this picture, you can see part of the dome on the top. And this is what the dome looks like from the inside. Now this slide, which is a night view, if you look closely, right over here is the Hagia Sophia. This building is the Blue Mosque, which is another very famous mosque in Istanbul. In 1616, and you know, that was about 1100 years after the Hagia Sophia was built, the Sultan Ahmet, had a mosque built that was bigger than the Hagia Sophia. And it's called the Blue Mosque because it has a lot of blue tiles in it. The official name is the Sultan Ahmet Mosque. I've been inside both of these. We toured both of them in 2007, though the Hagia Sophia was still a museum then, and I imagine it's been redecorated since it's become a mosque again. And then this picture is of the Blue Mosque, and you can see the position of Istanbul on the water. And this body of water is called the Sea of Marmara. Show of hands, how many of you have ever heard of the Sea of Marmara? I had never heard of it when I went either. Besides that, it's a little bit difficult to say, but it is exceedingly important in world history. And this brings us to the geographical section of our featurette. And we're going to start top down, as they say in the programming business. We look at the big picture first. This is Turkey, the red country in the middle of this is the Eastern Hemisphere of our globe. And if you look at it, this is the Mediterranean. This is Europe. This is Asia. This is Africa. And here is Turkey in the middle of it all. Turkey is where east meets west and north meets south. So then as we zoom in a little bit closer, we're looking now at the western end, the eastern end of the Mediterranean. And we see Italy here and Greece. And this inlet is the Aegean. This is the Aegean Sea, which is part of the Mediterranean Sea, just like the Caribbean is part of the Atlantic. Okay, the Aegean Sea here. And we have Turkey, and we have the Black Sea. And this gives you a way of becoming oriented. It's north of the Holy Land. Lebanon and Israel are further down on the eastern end of the Mediterranean. And this is a similar collection of countries, but here you can see what they are, and this is important. Turkey, for a fairly small country, has a lot of shoreline, and yet it still manages to border 7 different countries. Turkey borders Bulgaria, Greece, Syria, Iraq and Iran, Armenia, and Georgia. And another reason that I show you this is that the Black Sea here also is a shore for Russia, this big yellow, and the Ukraine. It's a very prominent feature of this part of the world. And then this is our final slide, because now we're going to get to the Sea of Marmara. This is Istanbul and the Sea of Marmara, and the Black Sea and the Aegean. We already pointed all of those out. Between the Black Sea and the Sea of Marmara is the Bosphorus Straits, the Straits of the Bosphorus. And in between the Sea of Marmara and the Aegean are the Dardanelles. Now, how many of you ever heard of these straits before? See, I learned about them in the 4th grade. I remember 9 years old. I remember learning about the Dardanelles and the Bosphorus, and I wanted to go so bad. I didn't really know where they were, but I was very excited when I finally got to go. But you can see the shipping routes from all those countries we looked at around the Black Sea, including Russia and the Ukraine, can go through the Bosphorus, then through the Sea of Marmara, out through the Dardanelles into the Aegean, and they are in the Mediterranean. And from there, they can go anywhere. They can go anywhere. Istanbul is on 2 continents because what we're talking about right here is the boundary between Europe and Asia. So Istanbul is a city that is on 2 continents, and that makes Turkey a country that is on 2 continents. Istanbul is not the capital. Ankara, right here in the middle, is the capital. Turkey also forms a land bridge between these 2 continents and between these seas. And it was a major caravan route. The Silk Road, which is a very famous caravan that came back carrying silk from the Orient, went through Turkey. So it was an important position to be in for shipping on the water and for overland transportation. Just all this in one little country. Turkey is one of the crossroads of the world. It has the vital land and sea routes for commerce. It's on 2 continents, Europe and Asia. It is the historical center of 2 great religions, Christianity and Islam. And it is the location of many famous biblical and historical sites. If you may be familiar with the missions of Paul, every time he was going to Asia Minor, we don't talk about Asia Minor in today's world. This is the part of the world he was going to. And that's where we're going to pick this up on the 12th of June when we have part 2 of this featurette. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you don't mind that we mixed it up a little bit. And thus does in today's featurette. And now we'll have another song.
All right, we're going to sing an oldie but goodie. This is I Am the Radiant Life of God. I am the radiant life of God. I am, I am, I am. I am the radiant life of God. I am, I am, I am. The health of God, the strength of God, vitality, energy, vim of God. I am the radiant life of God. I am, I am, I am. Okay, come on, sing with me. I am the wonderful love of God. I am, I am, I am. I am the wonderful love of God. I am, I am, I am. The peace of God, the joy of God, serenity, harmony, rhythm of God. I am the wonderful love of God. I am, I am, I am. I am the wisdom and power of God. I am, I am, I am. I am the wisdom and power of God. I am, I am, I am. The light of God, success of God, prosperity, happiness, might of God. I am the wisdom and power of God. I am, I am, I am. Yeah. Right. And at this time, we draw into our hearts all those that we may want to hold in prayer, ourselves and our loved ones and the world. And especially today, with Memorial Day tomorrow, we want to honor those who have come before us. We may lay flowers on a gravesite. We may participate in a sacred ceremony. And we know that no matter how we remember, the love and respect we hold in our hearts keep these dear ones alive forever in our minds and our hearts. And with this thought Today we bless them for their unique contributions and courage and selflessness. And we bless the family members who contributed to our lives, knowing we are here because they lived. We bless friends who are no longer present in our lives and give thanks for the love and laughter that we have shared. In a spirit of gratitude and respect, today we resolve to fill this day with love, light, peace, and respect, thinking of these people and remembering. And so it is. Amen. And we encourage you to approach us, prayer chaplains, when we're at Sylvan Center for your personal prayers. You may also email us, or you may call Silent Unity anytime for your personal prayers. And now let us prepare for a time of meditation. Oh, Spirit, guide me deep inside me. Take me to my heart place, the place of ease and grace. Breathe in this moment, this sacred moment. I am peace. I am renewed.
Beginning this time of meditation, let us each turn within to the prayer altar in our hearts. Sinking deeply, we keep that divine appointment, the one we've held with God since the beginning of time. As we lose our attention from the cares of the world, we realize that God has always been present, always available. God awaits in the secret place of the Most High, ever ready, ever listening and responding. We contemplate a life of prayer. What would it feel like to include God in every decision, to partner with the Almighty throughout each day? How would we be changed if we put God first in our lives? How would our relationships be changed if we expressed our true identities as agents of light and love? What would the world be like if we each released fear, taking each breath deeply and easily, walking straight and tall, allowing our truth to shine forth from our eyes? For this is our birthright, our divine inheritance. It is ours for the claiming. As we shed our false identity and live from our true selves, we find a natural flow of power and wisdom and faith and compassion. These traits and many more spring forth from the depths of our being, where they have always been. We need only break open the dam of negativity and error thinking that hold them back. It is so easy. It requires much less energy than maintaining a life filled with fear and limitation. We just let go. We turn to God again and again, finding comfort and guidance and great peace. Each time that we return to the world refreshed by the sacred activity of prayer, the world seems brighter and friendlier and easier to navigate. We are strengthened and softened by giving our cares to the Lord. Let us now each turn within and experience that sweet, holy presence as we share some time in the silence. Returning our awareness to this time of sanctuary, we retain the knowing that God is always closer to us, closer than our bodies, closer than our thoughts. We live and move and have our being in God mind. We need only to remember that it is so, now and forevermore.
When darkness closes in and you can't find your way, the doubts you drag around only seem to say, how can you make it on your own? Remember, you're never alone. Lean into me, I will raise you up. Gather your faith and we'll walk on water. Hold out your hand when you can't go on. Let go and lean into me. You're longing to be filled with peace that overflows, to hear my quiet voice. Just be still and know, in every sacred silence, I'm only a whisper away. Lead into me, I will raise you up. what you'll find. I won't let you fall. Lean into me, I will raise you up and gather your faith, and we'll walk on water. Hold out your hand when you can't go on. Let go and lean into me. Let go and lean into me.
That was magnificent, Lisa. Thank you so much. Beautiful song, very meaningful. For our Sunday talk, we are discussing the Christ within. And we must begin with a discussion of Jesus Christ. This is a topic that some folks are dogmatic about. They often base their beliefs on a childhood interpretation of the Bible. And other folks have just as dogmatically rejected the teachings of their childhoods. If you're a little bit nervous about discussing Jesus Christ, you can breathe easily. Unity is not dogmatic about its teachings. In this, as in all other things, unity encourages you to go to God first and follow your divine guidance and understanding. In the broadest of definitions, the Christ is the eternal aspect of God through which the world was brought into being. And this is expressed in John chapter 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things came into being through him, and without him, not one thing came into being. So the Christ was the creator of everything on earth, including us. Now we get into the big discussion here. Those of you who were raised in churches that recited the Nicene Creed, you will know that they would say that Jesus was fully human and fully divine, which is like one of the great mysteries of Christianity. How can you be 100% two different things? How can you be fully human and fully divine? And this has led to different theories about Jesus and the Christ. Some say that Jesus was a human man who fully actualized his Christ nature. And some say that the Christ incarnated as Jesus and retained awareness of his Christhood. And some say that the Christ incarnated as Jesus, and like a human does, we get very forgetful when we're born about whatever happened before, realized later that he was the Christ. And some say that he was an incarnated human, totally human, who fully realized his inner divinity and became Jesus Christ, which is also possible for each human being. All of these are variations about recognizing the Christ within or achieving Christ consciousness. And I don't think it matters which one of them, if any of them, is true. I think that the theologians who argue about these things are bound up in the human need to categorize things and label things and separate things. And they're very limited in the information they can draw upon from the different planes. But this is the history of the relationship between Jesus and the Christ, and the term Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ remains with us. His mission was to model ascension consciousness, which is another name for Christhood or Christ consciousness, or the Christ within. When he ascended, he became invisible to our 3D vision, that he remains in a higher vibratory realm that interpenetrates our physical world. He remains the aspect of the Christ intimately available to us for every prayer and every question. This is an amazing time in history. This is the post-2012 period when we realized that the world didn't end and we were going on into a new state of being. When you hear folks referring to our transition to a higher dimension or ascending, it's the same thing. The reason that there are so many terms for this is that the awareness of this tremendous time, this evolution in consciousness, which has been prophesied throughout the centuries from many different religions, this awareness pervades so many different spiritual teachings. And so they each have a different vocabulary, and they each have maybe a slightly different version of it because it's kind of vague to our human minds right now, but it pervades all spiritual teachings. The time is now. Whether you call yourself a Christian or not, whether you turn to spirit guides or not, whether you commune with the White Brotherhood or not, don't miss out on Jesus. Theologically, unity considers Jesus as our way shower or our elder brother. One of the ways unity has been described over the years is as primitive Christianity. And the word primitive means the first or early Christianity. It doesn't mean rude and crude. We worship in the manner that Jesus taught us to worship, and he worshiped God. So we don't worship Jesus. We consider him our way shower. And he was definitely showing us the way into ascension consciousness. Calling Jesus our way shower or our elder brother does not lower his status from divine beloved Son of God. Instead, it illustrates that humans are divine beloved children of that same God. He came to remind us that we are already divine. One of my fears for the New Agers is that in their rejection of the Christianity of their childhoods, they will throw the baby out with the bathwater. So I urge you to approach the study of Jesus and of the Christ with new eyes. And I encourage you to develop with an open mind a relationship with Jesus through prayer and meditation. And I promise you that when you open your heart to the living Spirit of the Christ, the world will begin to make more sense. You will gain spiritual understanding beyond your wildest dreams, and you will experience a homecoming that will soothe your troubled soul. And I wanted to close today by reading part of the, this is Intimations of Immortality by William Wordsworth. Our birth is but a sleep and a forgetting. The soul that rises with us, our life's star, hath had elsewhere its setting and cometh from afar. Not in entire forgetfulness, but trailing clouds of glory do we come from God, who is our home. And thus ends the lesson. God bless you.
God, you are every mountain. God, you are every ocean. God, you are every canyon, every inch of earth and sky. God, you are every morning. God, you are every midnight. God, you are every moment, every second of my life. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. God, you are every sunrise. God, you are every moon glow. God, you are every star shine, every inch of earth and sky. God, you are every springtime. God, you are every snowfall. God, you are every season, every second of my life. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. 'Cause you are the very, very breath I breathe. And your perfect love created me. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. Right. And at this time, we take a moment to bless our love offerings, which you have so graciously given to support our ministry. And we see abundance and prosperity flowing through us, as us, in all of our gifts, knowing that giving and receiving are one and the same, and that in giving we are truly blessed. You may give your offering by sending it in through to our P.O. Box 2176 in Citrus Heights, or using our donate button on our website or in our newsletter. Let us now join in blessing our offering with Unity's prosperity prayer, knowing that divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I choose to give, and all that I am open to receive. And so it is. Thank you, God.
We have a few announcements this morning. This is going to be a robust week for Unity Spiritual Community. On Wednesday night, the Life Loves You class continues on Zoom at 6:30. There are a couple of us that are reading this and working it along with the class at home on our own, and there's nothing wrong with that. You are welcome to join in that way, or drop into the class if you didn't sign up for the whole 5 weeks of it. It's got a good attendance, and I think that there's some wonderful people involved. Then on Friday, that is June the 3rd, I don't believe it can be June already, is our monthly First Friday meditation at 7 p.m. on Zoom. It's going to be a trip back to the upper room, to the prayer chambers of our hearts, and a time of rest and restoration. And next Sunday, our service will be on Zoom at 10 a.m. Lisa is talking about pure knowing, your power of wisdom. And the guest musician will be Sky Nelson Isaac, one of our favorites. And as always, we invite you, if you're here on Zoom, to stay and chat after the service is over. So we have a time of checking in and getting to know you. And now let us join together in singing the peace song.
Weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together, together, and let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator. Family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyful vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And now for our prayer for protection, we know that the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. God bless you all. Have a wonderful week.
We got a good thing going on around here. We got a good thing going on around here. You can see it on each and every face. There's a sweet, sweet spirit in this place. We got a good thing going on around here. We got a good thing going on. We got a good thing